Hey everyone, hope everybody has had a great day, great week so far. My name is Connor Parkinson. I am the product manager here at Cloud Storage Security, and I'm part of the team that has built our latest, greatest, newest cloud security solution, DataDefender. So DataDefender, if you don't already know, is hyper-focused on the storage layer in the cloud. And what we're doing is we're giving you, multiple layers of protection, showing you where your data is, if it's locked down appropriately, if it's free of malware, including ransomware, and making sure you know who is accessing what data in your cloud storage, and shutting down anything that might, cause data loss or a data breach or anything like that. So we're going to jump right into it. But first, let's talk a little bit about deployment. And so deployment, since we're a SaaS solution, is pretty simple. So we give you guys a CloudFormation template that grants us the correct permissions to kind of get the data and the things that we need to run the solution. Nothing more, nothing less. Once that is deployed, we simply grant you entitlement, and then you're in. So some of our beta testers, and most of them, have been able to get up and running in just under an hour of their own time. And so once you deploy, once you set up, this is what's going to show up. And so we kind of divided it into four separate functions. And one of those are security checks. And what security checks are doing is proactively checking through every single one of your buckets, your file systems, your volumes, whatever that might be. And it's looking for misconfigurations that could result in a data breach. And so what we've done is, as we check through them, we organize them by critical, high, medium, and low. And don't worry, this is test data. This is not actually our environment, but what we're doing is actually looking for all of that. And so if you look up top here, these are the open issues over time. And so if this number is going down, you are improving the security posture of storage. And so if you go down here, you can actually see all of the individual checks. So for example, S3 bucket, public access, public list, public write ACLs. We have just over 90 checks right now, and that goes over 11 services. So what we're trying to do is make sure that your data is locked down appropriately. And so if we click in here, we go to the findings page. And so what this findings page will show you are the exact failures or the results itself. And so you can see all of these public buckets, the provider, obviously, the account ID, resources, and then the result. So this failed. It is publicly accessible. So for the purposes of a demo, let's actually grab this and we'll move on. And so kind of the next function that we have here that we're giving customers is the inventory function. And so what this does is this looks at all of the buckets, all of the containers, blobs, whatever it might be across all of your accounts, and it's giving you the big picture of where your data is. So you can see total provision storage up at the top, all of the storage that you have. Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? Do we need to hire more people? Do we need to increase our security? So on and so forth. Those are the questions that you can answer here, as well as the total resources. So you see between May of 2025 and June of 2025, we have 60 buckets added. So for your organization, is that out of the usual? Is something going on that you need to investigate? Just kind of monitoring your posture at a very high level here. So we also have encryption status, but as we go down here, you'll get all of the containers, their location, their size, how many objects, their average file size, and then a couple of what we think are pretty important, publicly accessible, encryption enabled, and versioning enabled. You can also, filter your columns. You can drag them around if you'd like to. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for our customers to get all the data that they need. Same story is true for block and file systems. So, in the AWS case, these are all of the EBS volumes you have in the accounts that are linked. And so this will give you the picture of total amount of EBS volumes, the provision size, location, their IOP speed. Are they encrypted? Do they have a snapshot? What's the type itself? All of this information is available here. And so just for the sake of time, pretty much the same for the file systems as well. So in AWS, EFS. And so you can kind of go down there and check out all of your inventory. So kind of the purpose of this is to show you where all your data is data where it's not supposed to be. You know, things like that are questions that you can answer. How can you secure your data if you don't know where it is? What we're trying to provide for our customers here. On the same vein, we'll go up to the change history report here. And so what the change history report is doing is it's monitoring every single one of the changes made to all of these resources. So that includes adds and deletes. So for example, if you open this every morning with your cup of coffee after you get into the office or after you log on for the day, and you see that, for example, 900 S3 buckets have been created overnight, that's a little weird. What would be more concerning are 1,000 S3 buckets being deleted overnight. That's very concerning. Something might be going on there. And so what we give you are the locations, the resource IDs, the names, whatever it might be. And then we actually show you the exact change. So for example, if somebody made a bucket public when they weren't supposed to, that would be reflected in the change history report. So you could determine, okay, was it human error? Was it intentional? Is it somehow a typo, which is unlikely, but it could happen, so on and so forth. These are all the things that you can see so you can monitor what's actually going on in your storage. And so I want to go all the way up here to the summary report. And kind of in that same vein, this is the extremely high level overview of everything. So all of your accounts, we only have one linked here. All of the accounts that you have linked would show up down here. And it's going to give you information such as, the cloud provider, the account ID, how much storage is in this account, how many instances are in this account, and then also the general security posture. So issues high or greater. So if you need to shuffle people between teams, you can kind of make those decisions there. And we also give you the high-level metrics. Okay, total volume of data, is it increasing over time? Odds are it probably will be increasing over time. The security posture over everything, so all of these accounts, and then also the total storage instances as well. And so what I want to do for kind of the final part is show you our monitoring function. And so what this does is this allows you to query all of the logs, let's say CloudTrail, if you're in AWS, server access logs, so on and so forth. And what this does is it provides you an ability to very easily and very simply go through these logs and find what you're looking for. So for example, let's say someone quit 3 months ago. Did they take data with them on the way out? Were they doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing? Is this data sensitive? So on and so forth. And so just to kind of show you an example here, I'm going to filter down. We'll leave it right there. Why not? You can create as many filters as you like, and they go through username, event, resource, location, the condition, and then the value itself. So let's take that public bucket I looked at earlier. Let's go to resource name, and let's type in the value. Let's click add filter, and then let's run this query. And so what this is going to do is, since there's only one filter, it's going to show me all of the activity data that we have on this public bucket. So for example, are people writing to this public bucket? Are people taking files from this public bucket? These are all things that you'll be able to tell. For example, if you have a security incident where somebody accidentally made a bucket public, you could go in here and investigate and make sure that you're not in trouble. People haven't been stealing data from it. And like I said, we could go down here and we could go to event name, and then we could type in get object, and we could filter as much as we'd like to see what's actually going on with these buckets. With that being said, that's the 5,000-foot view, very fast, very high-level overview of DataDefender by Cloud Storage Security. So if you're interested in getting started, you can join our private beta class. Like I said, it's just about an hour. If you send us an email or submit the form below, we'll reach back out to you ASAP, and we'll get you scheduled to get onboarded. We'll note that is completely free of charge for our customers right now. We're trying to get as much feedback as possible and make sure as many people are seeing the value that we think we're providing for customers. So with that being said, hope everybody has a great rest of their day, great rest of their week. And yeah, thanks everyone.